Well, I think what I did yesterday, and I've spoken on chronic diarrhea many times in the past, and I changed the talk for yesterday and put a lot of work into it because I wanted to make it more what I actually do, the thought process that I have and the stepwise approach that I take. Because if you look at the more traditional talk, you would start by doing a 24-hour stool collection in everyone. And patients hate doing that. And often you don't really need to do that. And so if you start off with that, that's not really real life. I often end up doing that test much later in the workup. So I try to make it the approach that I actually take in how I actually work up patients. ACG is the premier clinical meeting for gastroenterologists, and it's always been very focused on what's clinically relevant. There are very cutting-edge research things that are important as well. It's a collegial meeting. You get to meet friends, you see old friends, you get to make new friends, you get a chance to interact with the speakers, you get a chance to ask questions after each talk because the speakers are right there, and many people come up and say, I have this case or I have that case. It's just a great meeting. It's always, I think, the best GI meeting, especially if you're clinically oriented. My next steps, well, I continue to do general gastroenterology and see patients with recurrent C. diff and patients with IBS. And patients with IBS, I think, are great because many times they've come to you with frustration that they don't have a diagnosis, and I'm able to say, it's actually, you do have a diagnosis, it's IBS, and the fact that your tests are all normal, that's actually a good thing. Because people are saying, well, the tests are normal, it just means you don't know what I have. If we have an abnormal test, that's usually not good. You've got cancer, you've got IBD, you don't want to have an abnormal test, you want to have normal tests. And then focus on just a stepwise approach, looking at diet and lifestyle and exercise and, and medications and such. That has to be very tailored to the individual person. There's no one-size-fits-all for IBS. But it's a definitely very treatable condition.